So I'm going to run through this last bit quickly. You've heard it similarly before throughout these webinar and workshops. But I do want to start by acknowledging that I'm coming to you today from Tacoma, the traditional homelands of the Puyallup Tribe of Indians, and I'm really grateful that I had this opportunity to fall in love with the Puget Sound and the homelands of Mini Coast Salish peoples. Here, I've been able to really learn from some great people, and it's really nice to share that some of that knowledge today. Dan Fagerly has been a primary mentor in my ability to connect with you all, to continue some of those relationships that he established, and to provide some of these resources that he's been providing for many years. So really grateful to have Dan's involvement. You can still reach out to Dan. He may be retired, but I don't think he would happily answer any questions or work with you to continue some of these services. Same with me. So we, through USDA, APHIS, through the programs that Tim shared and the funding opportunities, have received funding the past 2 years, and we've just been awarded a third year. And we typically apply for funding in this outreach and education goal of their funding resources. So in 2022, we received funding to the tune of $77,000, included $11,000 to make educational materials for tribal communities about invasives. This year we received, or I guess in 2023, but we still have a lot of this funding, a little more money and a little bit more money available. It included funding for boot brush stations. And then starting this summer, we'll have another pool of money to continue to do this work. So, and overall, we have funding to try and develop, to work with you to develop educational materials that you would want on your homelands or in your communities, wherever you're interested. With this funding, we've also organized these workshops in partnership with BIA and the Washington Invasive Species Council. And so I was going to just quickly ask another poll of whether we should do this again in 2025. So bear with me. Let's see, workshops. Yeah, it's one question, or it's two questions, I guess, but should we organize another workshop like this next year? And if so, what could we do differently that would be better? Or you're also welcome to share what you liked in that space, but we'd really love to figure out how we can improve upon this. It'd be amazing to do it in person someday, but maybe it's not feasible for us all to get together in person for a big event like this. I don't know. Oh yeah, I'll just leave that up for, say, another 40 seconds, so that runs for a minute and a half. But yeah, really grateful for you all to join us today. Super pleased to have support from the USDA to get together and organize these events. I'm really grateful for all the partnerships that help put these together. Couldn't do it without support from Robert and Maria and Stephanie and Blaine this year. So let's see, 5 more seconds, and then I'll share the results. But Robert, you'll be pleased to know that 100% of the individuals, maybe this is a really biased question, but thank you all. It does sound like there's support to continue to offer these. The other resources or the other funding that we have resources for is that we can provide these kind of educational materials like Dan has with Anthony in this picture. So develop signs or flyers or handouts or mailers. So we have funding to make these and design these and work with you to make the designs. We've also established this web page, which has been useful for organizing these events as a result of this funding. Here's some examples of signs we made recently and are working with Muckleshoot to design them, make sure that they're designed in ways they're happy with. There's opportunities to add Muckleshootseed or some other tribal languages to these signs if your cultural department wants to be involved. We wouldn't do that without your involvement or anything. These are some that I've sent to Cyrus on this call or here today with us. Just examples of handouts. The last thing that we would love to work with you all on is these boot brush stations, because not only do they help raise awareness, but they also provide a means to reduce the number of invasive seeds coming into your communities or your preserves or whatever you want to protect. So one of these boot brush stations, they remove the soil from your shoes that could contain microbes that may harbor diseases for your amphibians or your plants, or they can also just remove the seeds. If you are interested, you can fill out this form on our webpage, but most people just email me directly, and we talk about what kind of sign you would like and what species you're concerned with. That webpage also has some resources, just links to relevant stuff, and it also is where we will host all of our recordings from this year's workshops and webinars. So this is just highlighting there's some really great recordings already on there. We've talked about northern pike again this year, but Anthony has a really amazing perspective of kind of the impacts on cultural resources of invasive species. Just examples of these great recordings that are on there. But that's all I was going to share.